Hi Reddit. My name is Elliot, I'm 15 years old and things aren't going all that well for me right now. I just wish my dad was here, he'd know what to do, what to say. My mum Kathy, 33F, my dad, and I were always this little team. We did everything together and we truly were all inseparable. My mum would always tell me how much she loved me, she'd pinch my cheek and call me her handsome boy at any given opportunity. I'd act all embarrassed, but I loved it. I loved our little team. 4 years ago, when I'd just turned 11, my father unexpectedly passed in a car crash. I was with him when it happened. A drunk driver T-boned us while he took me home from rugby training. My last memory of my dad is him throwing his arm over my chest to protect me. I came out with some cuts as bruises, he didn't come out at all. My dad's name was Tomos, by the way. He was 28. In the beginning you could see that dad's passing really affected my mum, it was hard to watch. Shortly after dad passed she met Andrew, 40M. I tried to be as supportive as a grieving 11-year-old could be, but grieving 11-year-old. I always questioned how mum could move on so quickly, but at the same time she seemed happy-ish, so I just accepted it. Andrew never made any effort with me, his cold distance actually made it abundantly clear that he didn't like me at all. 6 months after being introduced to Andrew, we packed up our family home and moved into his place. It was a large 5-bedroom house which most kids would dream of living in. To me it just accentuated the cold distance to everything that I felt at this time. Very soon after my sister, Cleo 3F, was born. This was when I could feel my mother distancing herself from me further. I don't know if she just forgot that I existed or she just didn't care. Possibly both. Over the past 3 years I've seen that little team I once had with mum and dad form between the three of them, while I just existed on the periphery. My mum, who never missed a game, stopped coming to my rugby matches. Instead she'd take Cleo out shopping or to playgrounds. If it wasn't for my paternal grandparents, David 60M and Angie 58F, I think I'd truly be alone. The breaking point for me came just over a week ago. It was the last Friday of the school year. I got home to an empty house. There was a note left for me on the kitchen island with £100 attached to it. It simply read, "We've gone away to see Andrew's parents for the week. Didn't think you'd want to come, Mum." Honestly, I wasn't too cut up about that. What tipped me over the edge was opening social media and seeing that my mom had posted a picture of her, Andrew and Cleo. They were stood next to the pool, Cleo in mum's arms with the caption, "My little family." I could literally feel my heart break in my chest. For some reason I just went into autopilot. I texted my grandparents a goodbye and scribbled a note on the one my mother left. I couldn't articulate how I felt in that moment. The only words I could manage to write were, "I just want to be loved." I walked to the old viaduct where Dad and I used to go, sat on the edge, and as I was about to throw myself down, I was grabbed and held on the floor. "It's all right, boy, I've got you," a voice that sounded eerily like my dad spoke. I cried uncontrollably as my grandfather held me. He pulled me to my feet and dragged me to his car. He took me to his house where my grandmother shot outside to grab me, tears pouring down her cheeks. She took me to bed and stroked my hair as I fell asleep. The week they were all away, my mother didn't try to check on me once. When they returned she came to my grandparents' house to try and take me home. I heard the conversation from the other room. "Mum, I've come to take him home." "Grandfather, I'm surprised you remember who he is, Kathy." "Mum, and what is that supposed to mean?" "Grandmother, you know exactly what that is meant to mean, Kathy. I don't know how you could do that to him, excluding him like that. If Tomos could see you now." "Mum, stop. I don't need this." "Grandmother, what happened to you, Kathy? What happened to the sweet girl my son fell in love with? The woman who would do anything for that boy? Your son tried to end his own life, while you and your new family soaked up the sun in Greece. And you claim that you don't need this. Tomos would be ashamed." "Grandfather, look, Kathy. I can't sit by and watch my boy's only son be treated like this. I'm coming to your house later today to get the rest of his things. He's coming to live with Angie and I. He'll get the loving home he needs. You can play happy families with your new boyfriend and daughter." "Mum, but..." "Grandmother, no buts. He's coming to live with us." I haven't heard from my mum since. I think I could hear her crying as she left, probably just wishful thinking. Granddad came back with all my stuff and it's just been me and my grandparents for the past few weeks. It all just really hurts if I'm honest.